31 exchange. What I wanted to talk about today is what happened on December 17th, 2010. Does anybody here remember, and can anybody here tell me? Anybody here want to guess?
The government did something bad.
Yeah, we lost our money.
On December 17th, 2010, President Barack Obama signed off on a new tax bill. That new tax bill went into effect January 1st, 2011. It's in effect for how many years? 2 years. I'm going to talk about how it affected real estate. Let's go back in time. 2010 was the year to die. 2010 was the year to die if you had an estate that was
Over $1 million.
not over $1 million. If you had an estate worth a lot of money. Who took advantage of dying in 2010?
Not Bernie Madoff.
No, not Bernie Madoff. And by the way, what was his estate looking like in 2000?
Not too good.
Not too good.
Not too good.
Who did die in 2010? Who here knows commercial real estate at all? Who owns the most commercial real estate in San Francisco? Shorenstein. Walter Shorenstein passed away in 2010. Actually, Walter was 91 years old, so Dougie's probably Douglas now. He's about 57 years old. Inherited the Shorenstein empire. 2010 was the year to die because the estate tax was unlimited. If we go back in time to 2002, President Bush put into effect the estate tax laws. At that time, the limit was $1 million. What that meant is if my estate was worth $2 million in 2002 and I were to pass away, then the beneficiaries to my throne, $1 million tax-free, the other $1 million taxed at the estate tax level. How much was the estate tax in 2002? Same as it was in 2009. Anybody care to guess? 45%. Of that million, how much would they lose? $450,000. Now that limit increased each year due to inflation. We peaked out in 2009 at $3.5 million, and then it went to unlimited in 2010. Was it supposed to go to unlimited? No, it wasn't, but there was a big quarrel. Who was the quarrel between? One party over here, another party over here. Republicans and Democrats. What did Democrats want to do? Anybody remember what they wanted to do? Tax a lot. Increase taxes come January 1st. What do Republicans want to do?
No taxes.
Not no taxes. Keep things the same. What happened? There was a lame duck session in November. The lame duck session lasted for about a month. And then we had some answers. 2010 remained the year to die. Question for you guys. In real estate, what's the benefit to the beneficiary when somebody passes away outside of getting the real estate? Let me tell you guys a story. Born and raised in San Francisco, I am. Who else? What high school?
Presentation for Callejas.
Oh, they closed that one in like
They did?
92. I'm an SI boy, so now we truly are connected. Anybody else? We're all by ourselves.
I guess.
The reason why I bring that up is my grandparents came from Central America in 1938, and they bought property in San Francisco and Bernal Heights, on Cortland and Andover. Anybody care to guess how much they bought that property for? 3 and 2, 1,300 square feet, 4,200 square foot lot.
5,000.
$1,700. How excited was James about that property? Well, when I started learning about real estate, I got kind of excited. But then I realized I'm part of a Latino family. How many other grandchildren am I competing with? And I ain't the favorite. So that used to get me excited, but it no longer gets me excited. What did get me excited is my parents bought property in San Francisco as well. In 1974, they bought a single-family residence in Forest Hills and a triplex in Noe Valley. Anybody care to guess what those properties were going for back in 1974? About $75,000 each. What are they going for today?
$2 million.
Both of them about $2 million each. Now who's excited? James is. Who's plotting? James is plotting, because I got a brother and sister I'm competing with, and I've been in this game for 13 years, so clearly I've been plotting. Now, when we go back to the benefit of dying, to the beneficiary when it comes to inheriting property, the step up in basis is the key. In 2010, although the estate tax was unlimited, they limited the step up in basis to $1.3 million for all of your real estate holdings. Good or bad? We're in Montclair. Good or bad? Bad. One property could take all of that step up. If you have multiple properties, the basis on my parents' property is about $300,000 per property currently because of the improvements over the years. If they divvied up the 1.3, we just take that up to $1 million. They sell for 2. Beneficiaries are responsible for $1 million gain on each property. How much do we lose with the $1 million? A lot. We don't want to lose that kind of money. So, although there was unlimited estate tax, there was a limited step up in basis. Now, resolution 2011-2012. What happened to estate tax? Anybody here know? Did it remain the year to die? You know the way it was written is that it became unlimited in 2010, and if nothing happened in 2010, it would revert back to what it was in 2002 as a $1 million limit. So we knew something had to happen. Here's what did happen. Estate tax went from 3.5 in 2009, unlimited in 2010, up to $5 million in 2011 and 12. The full step up in basis has been brought back into effect. The state tax on everything up and above $5 million is not at the 45 percentile, it has been reduced to the 35 percentile. You know what was really cool? If you actually read the tax bill, you had 14 days to plan out somebody's death. And as long as you didn't follow what the Menendez brothers did, then you may have had a nice party in 2011. And what was really cool is if you passed away in 2010, you have the choice to either take 2010 estate tax law or 2011. And it's a real easy answer. If they're worth $5 million or less, always take in 2011 because you get the full step up in basis. If they were worth more than $5 million, we're going to do the numbers, and at some point it's going to make sense to take advantage of 2010. Who here in the room is married? Okay, who here is happily married? Because this doesn't quite cut it. I think I saw somebody put their hand down. You get that kind of droopy look sometimes from people. Who here is married? Oh. Didn't I leave that at home this morning? No, you brought it to the table today, and this is why. They brought in portability when it comes to estate taxes. So, if my limit is $5 million, I don't want to use myself as the example. Who's the guinea pig today?
Mariola.
I'm not married.
Not married.
I'll be the guinea pig.
Your name?
Lisa.
Lisa. Lisa's estate is currently worth $2 million. If Lisa were to pass away, now she's really happy, right? I'm in real estate. I know our estates at one point probably were worth $2 million, and now they're worth $2. Now, let's go back to your scenario. $2 million is your estate. You were to pass away. Your husband's limit is $5 million. You're $5 million. How much do you use of the 5? 2. 3 is left over. It is ported over to the surviving spouse. So for children, or for anybody that's going to inherit, if we plan these things out right, the death, that is, of other people, then we could really avoid any of these estate tax woes unless your estate is worth an exuberant amount of money. So they brought in portability. State tax was reduced from 45 to 35%. The limit is $5 million. If you passed away in 2010, you could choose unlimited with a limited step up in basis, or you could choose 2011 and have the limits that I just explained. Question for you guys. Who's the nicest realtor in the room? No joke. Well, usually the one that says, no, you're not, you really are. Your name again? Helen, how much can you give me tax-free per year?
I lost attention.
You want to kill this?
Yeah.
How much can you give me? Remember, I'm in the 1031 business. I have no money right now. How much can you give me tax-free per year?
I
Money.
think it's gone to 12,000.
It's higher than $12,000. Anybody here know? $13,000 you're able to give me tax-free. How about my wife?
Also.
Also, at the end of the day, how much does James have? No.
Yeah, 26.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, right. Wife.
Happy wife, happy life. My 13 has turned into her 26.
Because you can give her.
No, not because I can, because that's my obligation. Everybody understand how that works? You're allowed to give $13,000 to as many people. It's not just limited to husband and wife. As many people as you want. So if you were to choose 10 people in the room to give $14,000 to, so you've exceeded the 13, and we pool that $1,000 together and come up with 10. That 10,000 could be subject to gift tax. How much was gift tax in 2010? Anybody know?
10,000.
Not the limit. How much was the percentage you'd pay if she went over?
Tax rate.
55%. Now, who pays the tax? The giver or the receiver?
Giver.
The giver
The giver.
pays the tax. I am after the Gordon-Gekko model. Does anybody know what that model is? Greed is good. So when you give me the money and you exceed the $13,000, you will pay the 35%. It was reduced from 55 to 35% for the next 2 years on gift tax. However, you could allot that to your lifetime exclusion when it comes to gift tax. Anybody know how much you can give away in your lifetime tax-free? What was it in 2010? $1 million tax-free. That was increased 500%. The new limit is $5 million, and if anybody wants to give away anything right now, I will be here taking donations. If I need to get a hat, I'll get the hat and we can pass it around. But the limit is $5 million. So you could either pay the 35% on the $10,000 or put that towards your lifetime exclusion. Now I mentioned to you guys earlier that my parents bought a triplex in Noe Valley. My parents are old school. I'm 41 years old. How old is my dad? I'm the youngest of three.
60.
Remember, they got married or they were born in the 40s. So when you were born in the 40s, when did you get married?
18.
Right after high school, right? So my dad turned 68, gonna turn 68 in November. My mom's gonna turn 60. What's that?
What day?
What day? November 25th. Thanksgiving, pretty much. So we always have to know that it's his special celebration, and he's been professing that for the last 41 years that I can remember. But the idea is, he's blue collar. Since he was 13 years old, he retired a couple of years ago. If you're blue collar from 13 years old forward, what's going on with you at 68? Everything. Let me explain. Hip on left side replaced, hip on right side replaced, arthritis all throughout the body, and the bad back. Sometimes the walk like this until the drink comes in, and then the walk comes back to a strut. Now, the problem with being old school is that you have the triplex, right? Property was built in 1906. What does that mean? It's old. It's crumbling. So it needs a lot of
Maintenance.
maintenance. I've been plotting, you guys. I've been plotting. So every single time something needs to be done, who's out there with Dad?
You.
Who took Dad golfing Sunday?
You.
We get the idea of this. So my mom comes up to me the other day. This is all my Fantasy Island thing, so I'll just pretend I'm over work and somebody else can be tattooed because that's a little bit too short for me. But let's just pretend my mom says, James, you know what? Your dad's getting a little bit too old. I mean, don't mean to look at you like that. Your dad's getting a little bit too old, and you know what? Why don't we just give you the triplex? All the work you've done with him over the years, and it really makes sense, and you can take care of it, and you're in real estate, and you understand investment properties. What would I say to my mother if she came up to me and said that?
No.
I don't think so.
I would say, no, thank you. This is important for you guys to understand. Why would I say no, thank you?